Hey, what's up everyone? So in today's video, I want to talk about 10 cool things that you can do on your Samsung Galaxy A71. So without further ado, let's get started. Number one, the first thing you can do is actually turn on silent mode. Now, because we're Samsung users, we don't get the silent toggle switch like iPhone users do. But what you can actually do is you can map your power button and your volume up button natively to act as a silent button. So how you do that is you want to go into the settings. And then you want to search for something called direct access. And then you'll see that there's an option under advanced settings. And then under direct access, you'll see there's something called side and volume up keys. So you click that and you turn it on, and you can actually map it to a lot of other functions. So what I have it mapped to is to mute all sounds. So when you press that, it mutes all system sounds. Now the good thing about that is, unlike the do not disturb option, which only mutes incoming notifications, this mutes notifications and all system sounds and all media sounds. So it acts the same as the Apple volume toggle. So this is useful if you want to mute everything. If you're going into a meeting or whatever, going into a classroom and you want to mute everything, just hit these two buttons and it mutes everything. It's a really nice feature to have. And just as a bonus, you can see underneath it, it says volume up and down keys. You can map this to do something. So right now it's mapped to turn on the voice assistant. So you just hold the volume up and down keys at the same time for 3 seconds and it turns on the voice assistant. And I'm sure you all know about this, but you can also hold down the power button and the volume down key in order to take a screenshot. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is to double tap the home button in order to access the camera mode. And I feel like this is the fastest way to access the camera. So in order to do this, you'll need an app, which is a custom launcher called Lawn Chair. So once you download that custom launcher, which is the launcher that I recommend, you can open it and you can see that there's an option under gestures. So then there's an option here called home button tap. So you press that and you go to open app and you can select the camera app underneath that. So every single time you press the home button and you press it again, once you get back to the home screen, it activates the camera. And this is the fastest way to get to the camera, in my opinion. Okay, the next feature is double tap the multitask to switch between windows. So this is actually a really useful feature that I didn't know about until recently. So let's say you're in one app and then you go to another app and you want to switch to the app that you were just in. Well, you can double tap the multitasking button at the bottom if you have the navigation bar active, and it goes to the previous window. Now this is a really useful function if you're trying to switch quickly between two applications, and I really enjoy it. I use it a lot. Okay, the next one is to turn off animations. So right now I have the animations off, and what you can search is you can search for remove animations, okay? And you press that, and there's an option here to remove animations. So as you can see right now, when I switch between windows, it's instant, right? But if I turn on animations, it looks something like this. Now it does look pretty nice, but sometimes if you feel like your phone is lagging a little bit, you want to turn off animations, and that's what I recommend. It actually makes your phone faster, so you can remove animation. Now the next thing that you can do to make your phone feel even faster is to turn on system clicks, which I have on right now. So you go into settings, you go into sounds and vibrations, you go into system sounds, and then you turn on touch interactions. So what that does is it actually gives your system a little bit of a click every single time you push a button or you tap something on the screen, and I'll let you listen to it. So what that does is every single time you touch something, it makes a small little click sound instantly, and then it starts loading whatever you touched. So the good thing about that is it makes your phone feel a little bit faster. It doesn't actually make it faster, but it does make it feel faster, and it makes you a little bit more patient to wait for the app to open. So this is something that I keep on all the time, and I actually feel like it makes it feel like the phone's a little bit faster. So that's definitely a good feature to turn on. Now, the next feature I want to talk about is to change your screen mode to natural. So by default, if you go to display under settings, and then you go to screen mode, by default, it's turned to vivid. And this is kind of like the default Samsung screen feel, which all the colors are extremely saturated and everything is extremely vivid. So what I like to do is I like to turn it to natural. And as you can see, when you turn it to natural, all the colors become a little bit more flat. And this is actually how Android is stock. So if you buy a Pixel phone, this is how the color profile looks. And this is the color profile that I prefer. So turn your screen mode to natural. The next thing I want to talk about is edge lighting. So if you go into your settings and you search for edge lighting, there's an option under edge lighting, and you turn it on, where you can select a whole bunch of different lighting effects. So as you can see here, you have spotlight, eclipse, heart, fireworks, echo, and bubble. So whenever a notification comes in, the appropriate lighting mode turns on, and it actually gives it a really nice feel for receiving notifications. Now you can have this turn on when your phone is always on, or when the display is on, or when the display is off. I have it always on, and you can change the colors, and you can even change it based on different apps. So you can have messages turn blue, you can have Facebook turn red, or what have you. So this is a really nice feature, and once I turned it on, I've never turned it off. Okay, the next feature is fast charging. So by default, some of these phones don't come with this option turned on. So what you want to do is you want to go into settings and you want to search for fast charging. And you want to make sure that this toggle is on. If it's not on, you're not getting the full fast charging capabilities of the phone. Now this phone comes with a 25-watt super fast charger. So just make sure you have this option on before you start charging so that you're getting fast charging every single time. So the next feature I want to talk about is how to not put an app to sleep and how to keep it on in the background so it doesn't get closed whenever you close all apps. So to do that, you want to open your multitasking window by pressing the multitasking button on your navigation bar. And what you can do is you want to select an app. For example, Chrome. You want to hold the icon and you can unlock or lock this app. So I already had this app locked. So once you lock it, when you close all apps, this app doesn't get closed. And I believe you can lock up to 3 apps, but this is very useful if you're trying to lock a program that you need to send you notifications without being put to sleep on a regular basis. So this might work for your messaging apps. It might work for your email app. So I highly recommend this feature if you're using an email app that sends you push notifications for your emails. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is digital well-being. So if you go into your settings, this is something that we've probably all seen, but a lot of us don't use. So there's a setting here for digital well-being and parental controls. If you click that, there's 2 options that I would recommend you at least try out. The first one is app timers. Now, because we're in COVID and we're in lockdown and we're using our phones constantly throughout the day, it's kind of recommended to try to put your phone down and to try to do something else away from the screen. Now, it's hard to do that unless you force yourself to do it. So what you can do is you can set app timers. And what I've done is I've set timers for a lot of my social media apps. And to do that, you just select an app and you click the timer button next to it. And I would recommend something like 30 minutes. And the good thing about it is after 30 minutes, it grays out the app and it doesn't let you use it anymore. And that's usually enough to allow me to put down the phone and go do something else. But it also gives you an option at the very end if you're still using the app and you're doing something that is kind of an emergency. Let's say you're first world problem, but you're buying something on Amazon and you're just about to check out and this thing pops up, well, you can actually give yourself an extra 10 minutes, 15 minutes before it's kind of like hitting a snooze button for the app timer. So that's definitely a good feature and I highly recommend it. The thing underneath it is focus mode. So there's actually a couple different presets here. It's me time, work time, and you can add your own. But essentially what this does is if you press it, you can select certain apps that you can use during this time. Now, right now, for me time, let's say you have Amazon and you have maybe Facebook and whatever, you can start it, and these are the only apps that you can use during me time. This is very useful if you're trying to get some work done. You can only allow yourself to use work-related apps, and then you can turn it off, and then you can have access to all of your other apps. So definitely try out these 2 digital well-being apps. Okay, and just for kicks, there's a little bonus in the end, which is this phone comes with this nice little selfie notch, and though it's not huge, it is a little bit distracting unless you find a creative way to hide it. So what I recommend is downloading a wallpaper that has a notch. So this is the Baymax wallpaper. As you can see, it hides the notch pretty well. So you don't need a special app for this. You just go on Google and you search A71 notch wallpaper. And there's a lot of wallpapers that hide this notch in a creative way. You can have it as an eye or a paint block or something like that. So just make sure you download a high resolution wallpaper. And the resolution of the A71 is 2400 by 1080. Just download a wallpaper like that, adjust it a little bit so it fits over the notch, and you'll get something like this. So that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed my content. If you like this video, please consider hitting that like button. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions about anything I discussed today or anything about the A71 in general, please leave me a comment in the comment section below and I'll try to reply to every single one. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.